The 1910s was a decade of crisis for Bartók. In this house, here in Orchestra, a little bit east of Budapest, he experienced many personal doubts. Some of them about his musical life, others about his personal life. It's surprising then that during this decade, Bartók wrote all three of his stage works: the opera, Duke Bluebeard's Castle, the ballet, The Wooden Prince, and the pantomime, The Miraculous Mandarin. All three of them are about tortured relations between man and woman. All three are about trials of love, and none of them has a really happy ending. Bartók's one-act opera, Duke Bluebeard's Castle, was submitted for an opera competition in 1912, but it was judged unplayable. Bartók was utterly glum and wrote to a friend at the time, "A sentence of death has been passed upon me officially as a composer." Bartók's opera languished for 6 years before finally coming to the stage here at the Budapest Opera. But even then, in a revised ending to his opera, he ended with the utterly fatalistic lines, "Now it will be night forever." It is as if loneliness was to be Bartók's lot in life and lot in art. In 1905, when he was unmarried, he wrote, "There are times when I suddenly become aware of the fact that I am absolutely alone. I prophesy, I have a foreknowledge that spiritual loneliness is to be my destiny." Bluebeard's Castle is a brooding tale about the mystery of the human soul and the ultimate unknowability of man by woman. Through the opening of 7 doors, we have a powerful psychodrama which only reinforces the sense of woman's shrill curiosity and man's deep, dark secrets. It's a wonderful opportunity for imaginative staging and for very innovative lighting.
It's one of the richest scores of Bartók's. It employs a very sort of full harmonic vocabulary, and it's not afraid of huge resonant chords and extreme sonorities. And I think one of the loudest sounds in all of music is the big C major chord in the halfway through the piece with organ and extra brass from outside the stage, and it's a truly exhilarating moment.
Bartók's ballet, The Wooden Prince, is something of an answer to Stravinsky's early ballets, The Firebird and Petrushka. When it was first performed in 1917, The Wooden Prince was a tremendous success in Budapest, and it helped to push Bartók's career into a more international orbit. Superficially, The Wooden Prince could appear to be a happy story, how a prince and a princess, after various trials, find love. His librettist for the ballet, Béla, once described it like this: as the circumstance when a woman prefers a poem to the poet, or a painting to the painter. In other words, prefers the creation to the creator. In Bartók's ballet, the princess prefers the grotesque puppet prince made of wood to the real-life flesh and blood prince himself. This says a lot about Bartók's own state of alienation from modern society, for he'd come to prefer the naturalism of life, emotions and music in peasant communities rather than the counterfeit urban life with its false emotions and its artificial music. It also says that maybe Bartók was concerned he had become a counterfeit musician, a musician of the high Western art tradition, rather than a real musician with real contact with real peasants who had their feet solidly placed in the soil. The Wooden Prince was a huge stage success when it was premiered in Budapest in 1917. But Bartók was always worried that it had too much, what he called, padding. That is, that it fell between being fully effective as a descriptive piece of dance music and being fully effective as a symphonic work in its own right. Perhaps Bartók's message here is that love isn't necessarily all it's cracked up to be. Perhaps it's important also to be true to ourselves and to be true to nature. The Miraculous Mandarin is truly Bartók's shocker. It is finally an attempt to define true love. And it's the closest Bartók came to writing film music. In fact, some of this piece is veritably acrobatic. Bartók's pantomime starts out as a tale of despair. It's set in the big, evil city with its noise and its confusion. In fact, in Bartók's score, you can even hear the sound of the traffic.
One of my favorite pieces in the entire repertoire. It's outrageous. And it was scandalous when it was first performed, and it still is. I mean, the kind of noises it makes, and it's this sort of gigantic burping, farting, squeaking, shouting kind of animal that creates sounds and noises that we haven't heard in other music. It's atonal. There is no sort of method to this composition. There's no system, no rational hierarchy of the notes or anything like that, but somehow it makes such perfect sense. And that is because of Bartók's ear. I mean, he could hear all this in his head. There's a profound inner logic in all this.
The Miraculous Mandarin is a tale about a prostitute, her minders, and 3 clients. Firstly, a dirty old man. Next, there's a young student. And last, an Oriental gentleman.
Because the student is falling in love. All this has been like thugs carrying on, but there's this student who visits the brothel and falls in love with the acting professional. So it's a different kind of game from here on. All right? 44.
As Bartók's pantomime progresses, his theme changes. The third client isn't like the other 2. There's something determined. There's something here which is unknowable yet moral about him. And Bartók's music reflects the latent and mysterious power in him. Although he's stabbed time and time again, he refuses to die until his affection is returned. And finally, maybe we do see a glimmer of the redeeming power of love. Maybe, finally, we do see that there can be relations between man and woman.